You're live.
I don't know what a unicorn's supposed to sound like.
I think they're just typical horse noises.
Woof? What's that you say? You said a woof. 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 That's woof. What's woof? You said woof? You said woof?
Oh, Lord.
What's woof? I know, you're the smart one.
He really will drill stuff. He just had to have an excuse to put on his unicorn.
Woof, 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 woof. That's woof, woof, woof. I know, you're the smart one, sweetie, I know. All right. Hello and welcome. Didn't get a chance to, didn't show up in time for Halloween last year. But
I knew it. I knew it.
Gonna catch these hands, bro.
Oh, Lord. Storm, come here.
So yeah, this didn't make it here in time for last Halloween, and we don't really have anything going on this Halloween. And so I had to have a reason to at least put it on.
Yep. Turn sideways so they can see the back. Yes, there you go. There you go. Do a little dance. Oh, Lord.
I'm doing a lot of movement in here that you really can't see, so. All right.
Okay. Costume's coming off. Time to drill. So yes, Keith Austin of House Hack Bowling was kind enough to help make the thumbnail. So the unicorn that is in the thumbnail is actually Luke. It was a picture I took when we got the outfit and he tried it on. Billy Ball says looking for Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yeah.
There you go. Now you can follow. I got the chat up there for you. You can see.
All right, so we're just gonna full on bad Santa this.
Get your fish koozie down. Make it worth it. Oh, there you go. Yep.
What? It's woof? You said woof? Okay.
I think he's saying you for the Zen U.
Hi, buddy. I know you're a tall buddy. Oh, no, buddy. I know it's me. You a tall buddy? Are you a tall buddy? You're a tall buddy. This thing's really hot, buddy. I know. I know.
Yeah, careful.
All right.
He could snag that pretty easy.
All right. All jokes aside, I know nobody follows me for my humor.
Yes. What? Well, actually, Storm Dog is German Shepherd Husky.
There's buddies. You're a tall buddy, aren't you? You're a tall buddy.
Yes, he will talk.
Use woof? That's
Yes,
woof.
Zen Woof. Yeah, there you go. Quest for 900. You are correct.
Woof. That's woof. Woof. You do it sometimes? Woof. Woof.
Steve G. Yes, second costume underneath.
Yeah. There was planning and forethought, y'all. All right, Dingleface, you ready? If they made a Zen, you'd be right on top of it. All right. Thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. We'll actually get to the rat killing here.
Oh, here. Hand it to me. I'll take it inside real quick.
All right. So, I'm a little behind the 8 ball on the Zen ball. So, talk a little bit of the stuff here. So right off the bat, this is a urethane cover, S35. I don't really know what that means. It's just lower end. When it comes to urethane, it's really hard to figure out exactly what the numbers mean. Once they get up into the 60s and 70s, then I know what everything is up there. But urethane strength is always kind of hard to categorize. I know, buddy. Because urethane, while very smooth, is also very strong and early. It's actually earlier and stronger and diggier than reactive balls. It just doesn't produce the shape. So another thing to note that very few people have seemingly been pointing out, this is not, it's the same core, but they've lowered the density quite a bit, so the numbers are different. So even though it's the same core shape, different core numbers. The original Zen core is like 249,051 or something like that. This is 256,027. So this is basically like a marginally stronger pitch black. Darren Tang's got a video up, Brad and Kyle, Beef and Barnsey. I think Luis at least has some shorts up. There are a handful of videos out on this one so far. And I'm not really sure if I'm going to get a Darren Zen U or if I'm going to get a, Chris, Brad, and Luis Zen U. Darren's looks like it's somewhere between an IQ Tour and a Phase 2, and everybody else's looks like a pitch black with more back end. So we'll see what actually happens. Here is the layout choice. This is going to be 4x2. This is 4x2 for me. My axis is 5 3/8 over and 3/4 up. And so that's what a 4-inch pin looks like for me, 2-inch buffer, that thing doesn't matter. So now the reason for the layout choice, there were a couple questions from our Discord that I was going to get to.
Yeah, the YouTube members on the Discord, I put it to them. It says, I'll
pimp that when I...
Yeah, your question was, how does he determine which layout he wants to use for which ball? Was by SARXSVT. I'm not sure.
Yep. Yeah, we'll talk about that one first. First of all, I have launched YouTube memberships. There's some extra stuff. You can actually, there's a playlist. If you go to my channel homepage, there's a playlist that shows all the videos that show up for the members. So there's already I've got a Fate versus Cosmos video that's going up Wednesday that I uploaded yesterday for the members, so they got early access. I also had a Halloween promo I made a few years ago that never got aired, and so that's up there for the members to see in addition to early stuff, extra stuff. So when I do get the filming done for this, the first thing I do is I come back, I download the video, and then I cut it, I chop it up, right? I trim it up so that it's just shot after shot after shot. I trim out all the dead space, and so it's ready to just drop into the review. But I also use that for going back and refreshing my memory, or maybe picking up on different things, so I continue to watch it while I'm actually writing my review for it. So it's very helpful in several different ways. However, it's also something that when I get done with those cuts, I upload them, and they go to my, they'll go to the members and my Patreon members too, and the Discord server. So they will get to see ball reaction, albeit kind of raw ball reaction without just watching ball reaction a few days before the review goes up. Then they'll get that a few days early too, plus all kinds of behind the scenes stuff and what have you. So anyway, so to the question, how do you figure out which layout to put on which ball? Layouts are kind of tricky, but generally speaking, with the urethane balls, most of the time people, with traditional urethane balls, so with Zen U, Purple Hammer, Pitch Black, Fast Pitch, stuff like that, people will try to basically max out a layout so that you're still going to get the attributes, you're still going to get the smooth, you're still going to get the control from the cover, but there's not a whole lot in the way of core. And so most of the time, urethane balls are designed to, part of the thing with urethane is they dig in early and then they're smooth. But the other part of it is that they don't really flare much, so that they continue to roll over the same oil track, so they pick up early and then kind of walk and ease into the pocket. Urethane balls that flare are a different story, as you see with the UC3. It's kind of a mix. But if you see like the Black Widow urethanes, or the Purple Widow, or Pink Widow, what have you, they act different because they have stronger cores. So instead of not flaring at all, which is the typical urethane look, they're actually quite a bit more aggressive once you put an actual core into them. And so by taking a weaker core like this and drilling it really, really strong, you get a little bit of extra strength from the core, maybe a little bit of ring separation, so that you get the urethane feel, but a little bit more strength out of it. So that's the why on that. As far as layouts go for other stuff, it'd take me the next half an hour to kind of break down the layout stuff, and that's probably something I'll do for the members here at some certain point. Just turn on a camera and ramble, and but I'll always take the chance to plug Storm's Pin Buffer Layout System Trilogy. That'll tell you everything that you ever wanted to know about ball reaction. It has demonstrations, graphics, whatever else. So it explains what every part of a layout does and how it contributes to the overall ball reaction. So that's probably the best way, rather than me rambling on about it. Very informative, tons of visual aids, very helpful stuff if you're interested in layouts. I also have with me a brand new Pitch Black, which I've been meaning to drill for a while anyway. And because the last Pitch Black I got had a little different layout on it, I do also want to max this one out, or give this a strong layout too. So I'm going to do the same thing. This is just water. Just kind of a little bit of dust on here. I'm just trying to pretty it up. So this gives me an excellent opportunity and a good excuse to drill this other Pitch Black. They're both 1000 grit out of the box, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're both 1000 grit, and so this will be the best example to compare a fresh box urethane versus urethane. The code black Pitch Black numbers are 257022, so a tick lower on the RG for that one, a couple points higher on the differential. So theoretically, this also, even though I don't know what the difference is between Control Solid and S35, this is supposed to be a stronger Pitch Black with more back end. So that's what I've seen in all the other videos. That's what I expect to see, unless I somehow got a Darren Tang special. So we're going to go on ahead and put holes in these. The first thing I'm going to do, if you want to bring the camera over, how far can you move the camera?
I can't. I've just set the charger right here, so we're fine.
So I've already got the layout on this one, and I'll just show you since I need to put the layout on the Pitch Black still. Just going ahead and do that here.
Do you want the iPad over there so you can see the comments?
No.
Okay.
If you can kind of keep an eye on them.
Well, I am. I just don't know if you want to see them.
No.
Okay.
Arc ruler. I need to make a... There have been a couple videos, and I'm surprised. I'm a little disappointed that nobody's said anything. But on my... I'm a little disappointed, but also kind of impressed. We might be learning here. That on some of my symmetric videos here, especially like for the Fate and the Phase 5, I've gone 5 by 4 by 2 on the Phase 5, 4 by 4 or 4.5 by 4 by 2, And I've said that a couple of the other balls, which were 4x5x2, were actually, I've said that those were 4x4x2. Of course, the second number doesn't matter. I was just waiting for somebody to say, hey, you say the layouts are the same, but the CG's in a different spot. So, kind of disappointed nobody's pointed that out. However, I'm also kind of impressed that everybody seemingly is either not paying any attention at all, or they just understand that the CG placement doesn't matter on a symmetric ball now. We might actually be getting somewhere. So for symmetric balls, you kind of put a fake, and it really doesn't matter where this goes. I mean, if I get the 4x, this is just for ease of laying the ball out. It just really makes it easier more than anything. Plus, again, it's for consistency's sake in the video. It's less questions. So we're going 4-inch. So I'm going to use my arc ruler. Put the little pin on the top of the pin, the 4-inch spot. Make my arc. And I also, while I'm already here, I just go on ahead and make my pin buffer arc at the same time. So we're going 4x4x2. So I did the 4 and the 2. Now I'm just adding the extra 4. Makes it easy to lay out. So you've got your 4-inch arc from the pin. You got your 4-inch arc from the fake PSA, mass bias, whatever. Those intersect right there. Then we've got our 2-inch pin buffer. And so then all we do is line up the X with the outside, or the tangent, I guess, the X with the very outside of that arc. That will be our vertical axis line. Now, because my axis point, the axis point is measured from the center of grip. So the center of the grip. And so since my axis point is 5 3/8 over and 3/4 up, from the X marks the spot right there on this line, I'm going to measure 3/4 down and 5 3/4 back over.
Aaron144 says, so I guess what works on my UC3 won't work on the Zen U. 40 by 4.5 by 70 pin down.
Probably not. Pin down on a urethane ball with a smaller core is not a good idea. Urethane balls are already kind of pinned down. The cores are long and smooth because the cover is so diggy and smooth. Or the cores are, you know, higher RG and weaker, so they want to go longer naturally. But so Pitch Black Zen U, ready to go.
Recap the layouts. A couple of them just showed up.
Time to make dust. 4.5, or not 4x4x2 are the layouts that I went with. Very weak cores. Once again, the core in this, even though it's the Zen shape, or the core, the same core shape from the Zen, this is shaking the camera all over the place.
On video, it's not shaking it.
Oh, okay. Anywho.
We'll be moving it back anyways.
So, while it's the same core shape, very different numbers. They lowered the density, so this one's 256.027, I believe. Yes. 256.027, this is 257.022. So 257 or 256 RG versus 257 RG, 027 differential versus 022 differential. What I've heard is this is a little stronger cover stock too, so this should be a stronger pitch black with a little bit more shape. And from what I've seen, aside from Tang, that's what it looks like. What do I have? More moss pencils. So, all right. I'm going ahead and put the pitch black on there first. And so as far as layout goes, layout is all core. If you don't, the weaker the core is, the less you have to work with. But just saying, okay, well, I've got this urethane ball. Should I put this same layout on this other urethane ball? If they have different cores, like somebody mentioned with the UC3 and the pitch and the Zen U, yeah, that's just not going to work.
You might want to see this ball two-handed, Rockefeller, but you don't want to see it from Luke two-handed.
Yeah, especially lefty two-handed.
Yes.
Go watch Packy's video.
I apologize for any camera shaking that was going on. I was laughing the entire time.
So my specs, I've got 3/8 laterally in each finger. So I have 3/8 left, 3/8 right. I've got an 1/8 reverse in both fingers. My span is 4 and 5/8. Ring to thumb, and 4 and, God, that's a lot of 16, 17, 18, 19. 4 and 19 30-seconds. Middle finger to thumb.
Steve Walsh asks if the Zen U might be replacing the Booyah.
No, I don't think the Booyah Pro was a little different. I remember looking that up. I think the core was quite a bit stronger in the Booyah. I always go a little bit wide on my bridges, so I tend to miss that line. This makes it easy since the offset, the 30-second offset, goes basically only my ring finger to thumb is only a 30-second longer than my middle finger to thumb, and that offset comes from the grips, and so it's just a straight line across, so I can just drill this hole, adjust my pitches, move it again, pop that hole without having to move it forward or backward.
Nick Brown hopped in, says Booyah specs, RG's 2.61, diff is .026.
Okay, so it's somewhat close, but that's a lot. 261's a lot higher RG than 256. The diff values are fairly close, but oh, buddy, how are you doing? Hi, Mistel. Sweetie, you're gonna have to watch the tail.
Come on, Aspen.
I do use
Come on.
Turbo Quad Classics in ice. I like it's like sticking your fingers in a couple gummy bears. Don't ask me how I know that. I also have a little trick that I like to do with the slugs. I just use regular slugs. What are you doing, buddy? Because I have a round thumb hole, so I just have to pop the hole in it and then bevel the top and I'm done, so I don't need to mess with the switch grip stuff. But what I do is you can see that this is kind of, there's an edge on here. And so what that tends to do is you drive this and all it does is scrape all the glue off the inside of the hole. It makes it a little harder to drive. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to round up the bottom of this and then kind of reestablish the little vent slit there. Get dust everywhere. Alright, so I've kind of tapered the bottom of the slug, and then that vent slit there is to allow air to leave the thumb hole, so it makes it easier to drive. And I'm going to give you a warning here to adjust your volumes. I'm about to turn the press on. It's going to get loud, so if you want to or need to, I'll give you a few seconds to adjust your volume. All right.
Jonathan Tiffany says that he used to hate clear grips, but he has them in the check, and for some reason they feel awesome.
Yep, like I said, like sticking your fingers in a couple gummy bears.
Kendall Porty, our meme generator.
Yeah.
I want to get this ball, but I'm worried that it will be close to my purple. I guess time will tell. I'm not sure if he means purple hammer or pitch purple.
Yeah, no, I'm sure purple hammer.
Okay.
No one cares about the other purple ball.
Okay. I figured, but you know. And then Jonathan Tiffany's back says, stupid question, but do the core numbers change after punching holes in a ball? If so, is there a way to recalculate them?
Yes. And that's a big thing that Mopinel was into, was not pre-drilled numbers, it's post-drilled numbers. That's why we have some interesting core designs, like with the core that's in the UFO, the UFO series, or like the Catalyst core in the Crux series. Kind of having a scoop there around the fingers, or that cutout in the front for the thumb to go, so that you're not really changing a layout too much with the numbers. That's why they banned weight holes, actually, was because originally this would be terrifying, having the CG all the way out here, because each side of the ball had to weigh within an ounce, or each side of the ball, this half had to weigh within an ounce of this half. Well, this ball's got a top weight of 250 on it, which is right there. So I'm taking, weight out of this side over here, and so this half of the ball is going to be lighter, probably much lighter, a couple ounces lighter than this side of the ball, which would have made it illegal a few years ago, because each side, top and bottom and side to side, had to be within an ounce of each other. So that's why you generally saw CGs that were closer. That's why it used to be a problem if a CG was this long or this short or whatever else, because it really reduced your layout possibilities. Something like this is, 3.5 inch, 4 inch pin was ideal, because it gave you a whole lot of flexibility without having to add a weight hole. Well, they figured out that weight holes weren't just for balancing the ball in case it was a little out of balance, basically. You could drill weight holes in certain positions to change the core shape, to either make it more dynamic, less dynamic, what have you. And so that's part of the reason for layouts in the first place, or a big part of the reason, is that you're drilling the holes, you're altering the core shape and making it do different things. So it's basically like, you take this can here, the differential is it's literally just the difference between the side-to-side measurement and the vertical measurement, and the difference in that is differential. So if you have something that's round, like if you have a round ball, something like my Death Star ice ball mold, if you make it a strong, so say the pin's up here, even though a strong pin, it's just a ball. You're not getting really anything out of it. There's no agitation, there's no anything. So you can do whatever you want with it. However, you take something like a cylinder, and so if you have it pin, if the pin's up here and you drill it with a really long pin, it's gonna rotate like this. End over end is gonna kind of lope or whatever. All of a sudden, if you tilt it a little bit, then it's gonna, if you tilt a little bit, then it's gonna roll like this. So it's really gonna be wobbly and imbalanced, which creates flare. So if you take this, for example, and say the pin's up here, if you go pin down, you're drilling the fingers here, you're drilling the thumb about right here. So that in effect makes the core shorter. It makes it closer to round. And so it raises the RG and it lowers the differential. And so that makes the ball want to go longer and be smoother off the end of the pattern. If you instead go pin up, you're drilling fingers here, thumb here, kind of out of the side of the core, you make it slimmer and taller in effect. And that lowers the RG, which makes it earlier, it makes it stronger, makes it rev faster, and it increases the differential at the same time, which makes it more dynamic because it makes it flare more. So that's the quickie on layouts. And they actually have numbers if you watch the Storm Spin Buffer Layout System trilogy that I mentioned earlier. Alex Hoskins talks about this, and he shows you exactly what happens when you drill, the fingers out of the top of the ball, or out of the top of the core versus the side of the core, and how it changes those numbers.
We need to have a moment. Mr. Bill made. Mr. Bill likes to make, if people post pictures in Discord, he gets creative. So Colin, you have made the internet in your chicken costume. Okay, now you can continue.
All right, so that's kind of the long and short on layouts. If you want to know more, definitely watch that Pin Buffer Layout System trilogy. But that's basically it. So yes, you do have to consider, part of it is you're going to consider the orientation of the core as well, because that matters, especially on asymmetric balls. But a big part of it is how you're altering the core shape by where you're placing the finger holes. So that's why I've gone with a really strong layout on this one, 4x2, which is going to make it a stronger pin. I'm kind of maximizing the dynamics that I'm going to get out of this core. It's a very weak core, so I'm just kind of giving it a little bit more strength. Now, at the same time, it is a very weak core, so I'm not really going to change a whole lot. I'm not really getting much out of this because there's not a whole lot of core to work with in the first place. Oh, my light died. I need Chinese tail bar lionfish.
Okay.
I don't know what's plugged into what here. I know one's there. Yeah. Might just have to go without the light here for a minute.
No, I can.
Or actually, hang on. I'll plug it in over here because I don't need my buzzer for right now.
Okay. I'm gonna go upstairs. I think we have another little extension piece too. I'll take this mic off.
All right. So I've got an 1/8 reverse in my thumb. It's got slippery. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this out. Gonna make the edge of this, just the edge of the hole so that I can remeasure. Sure, it's dead on. Let's use that. Huh? Yeah. Huh? That is vacuum. You can change it, I guess, but I don't. I'd just leave it alone for right now.
No, I can do vacuum and I can do charging.
Okay.
No?
It's just a whole lot of stuff that comes out of those outlets, so. All right, so that's all good to go. So I'm going to switch to my slug bit. This is the 1 1/8, so I'm going to use this to pilot, and then I'm going to use the 1 1/4 to open it up for my slug. can always tell when something's true urethane by the shavings that come out, because the shavings from any reactive ball just kind of turn into little, like, pencil shavings. This stuff will actually stick together a little bit more and kind of wraps itself around the drill bit. So that's how I can tell that it's actual urethane. Now I'm going to give it one more pass, just real slow, to kind of open up the top a little bit more. It makes driving the slug a little bit easier. If you weren't here,
Jonathan L. Tiffany, when you were explaining stuff, he says, thank you for answering that. I've watched the videos a couple times and get the gist of the pin buffer layout system, but your answer does clarify some of the finer details for me.
Sweet. Yeah, Roto Kyle, I'll be curious when Luke drills the Zen. That's kind of what I was getting at, is that true urethane does kind of tend to wind itself around the drill bit, whereas other stuff does not. If you weren't here earlier, I mentioned that I normally round off the edge on the bottom of the slug, so that if you just leave it like this, all it does is scrape off all the glue on the inside of the hole when you're driving it. And so this tapering it allows the glue to get in there, actually on the side of the slug and do something. And then I just made the vent slit, just reestablished that a little bit so that the air can get out. So I'm going to test this real quick and make sure all right, that's going to go in good. And this is such a tight fit that you don't really need the glue in here. The glue is more of just kind of a lubricant to get the slug down in there.
But if it hardens too fast, the slug will get stuck.
Yeah, so I use Turbo Slow Zip because this is the best glue, period. So, but obviously I can't put an actual lubricant down here in the hole, so that would be a terrible idea. So, glue it is.
Mike, he doesn't use a switch grip because he has a perfect circle thumb, so it is one cut.
Yeah, I just drill the hole and, bevel a little bit up top, so that way I don't have to mess with the nonsense of the switch grips.
So yeah, and it's both his thumbs are the exact same size, same bit. And as long as he immediately puts the slug in, it goes in super smooth like that.
Yep. Kapow. It's almost like I know what I'm doing.
He didn't continue to talk and get distracted this time.
Yeah.
That's the part.
No.
But and
that extra
also,
pass with the drill bit.
Mike, he did used to use the switch grip, the turbo, and when he was at Nationals, the ball he needed to use, the thumb system failed on him, and he nearly lost the ball.
I think that was actually the believe it or not. I'm not sure if I ever used turbos. I might have.
No, because that's the only thing I had, because we were using the same system when In the Zone was making their own slugs.
Okay.
Because you wanted to use turbo, so we went to turbo switch. So with turbos, when the system fails, you're out of thumb and you just grab another thumb. But this particular ball, it actually failed from inside. And so
Yeah, it just broke on the inside, so
yeah.
took the ball out of commission. So, which was regrettable because it looked great.
Might have even been a hectic.
It was the hectic.
Andrew Niddle, as far as the Pro CG and Pro Pin, it's just the particular location. So the pros or whoever can drill specialty sort of layouts.
Yes, and that was the thing, is that it mattered a whole lot. It used to matter a whole lot more because the pro pins were generally longer pins, like they were 5-inch, 6-inch, so the pros could go with those super tall pin or the long pin layouts, basically, where the pins all the way up here. If they had a 6-inch pin, they'd need a 6-inch pin to kind of offset it so that they could do those funky layouts. Some of the Pro CG are the ones where they're the asymmetric balls, where the CG is really far to the right or left of the pin to mass bias line. But again, it doesn't really matter so much anymore since USB-C allows 3 ounces any direction now. The other way that I can tell that a ball is urethane too is when you're going to cut the top of the slug off. It's very easy to cut the ball as well. That's another thing on plastic balls. Plastic balls are super easy to cut on. With regular reactive balls, you can actually get it just flush, and you've got a little bit of leeway with getting the slug flush without actually cutting the ball. If I get close enough to get this flush, it's probably going to get into the ball a little bit, which is not. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at all. It's just a aesthetics thing. Nobody wants to have their ball cut into, even though they've cut into it a million different times to put the logos and the CG and whatever else in there. That's all ball damage too, but I digress. Of course, my plug cutter is right at the perfect state of sharpness. It's sharp enough to where it still gets the job done, but it's not sharp enough. When you get any pro shop operator knows when you get a plug cutter sharpened, you want to use it on like plug for like 20 times to get the edge off of it, or it will cut everything. So once it dulls down a little bit, it doesn't cut so sharply, and so you can actually, get the slug cut flush without just instantly cutting into the ball. Now, once it gets a little too dull, it's really tough to do, and so you got to apply extra force, and then that's when you start cutting into the ball again. So it's easier to cut into the ball with a very, very sharp or freshly sharpened plug cutter, and also with one that gets too dull. So that's kind of the easy rule of thumb. Pun absolutely intended. So we're gonna wait to finish this up, but here it is for now. Wabam. It's nice.
Yeah, when those
Sweet.
pencil marks go away right around there, you know you got it just right.
Yeah. All right, Zen U time. It's hard to tell from drilling the fingers because normally the woof. You said woof. You say woof. I say woof.
Somebody asked if the UC3 was actual urethane. Kendall said it's a blend.
Yeah, that's a blend. It's a blend. Otherwise, it wouldn't turn sideways.
Yeah, but do you know the blend or percentage off?
No, I seem to remember. God, what did somebody say about it? Or I might be thinking of something else. But yeah, it's a blend.
What's the name of that jersey? Because it's not the. Is it
DGV? Or no, this is a DBG. So they can't call it Dragon Ball Z.
So dog, boy, girl, DBG.
DBG. And they also have a Vegeta one. What woof? It's woof? Are you a boing woof? Are you a boing woof? So yeah, it's DBG, so Dragon Ball Goku. And then they have a Vegeta one that's DBV, which is Dragon Ball Vegeta, but they can't call it that, so that they just use the initials. Hashtag copyright infringement. It's harder to tell on the shavings with the fingers, but we might still be able to see something, you never know. If they come out in strings or ribbons, that means it's urethane.
Does ship to the EU because they ship to Australia and Hawaii both.
Yeah, see, these shavings came out a lot more like reactive ball shavings. See, the ones from the Pitch Black were more ribbony, a whole lot thinner. This is S35 urethane plus, so there's probably some kind of additive into it. I'm sure it's mostly urethane, but
Thinking like 70-30 or 80-20 or something.
I don't know, because they did have that Badger that was the 70-30 the Badger infused or whatever.
Oh.
The 70-30
okay.
mix.
Have we shipped Cool Wick jerseys to the EU before?
No, but we shipped them to Australia and that went just fine. So
yeah, that's what I thought.
I would think that they would.
Well, there was comment. It's
the
just like
EU.
yes, but it's not cheap. So I was just more worried. I was
I
curious.
don't remember it. It was. I mean, it was not cheap. I think it was like $20 a jersey or $25 a jersey or something. So it's not cheap, but it's not terribly.
Yeah.
It's not outrageous. It's not like $50 or something.
Right.
So it may be more than what you want to spend, but it's not terrible.
Right. And for those of you that are watching, we are going to be doing our Doggo fundraiser coming up in December.
Yes. And that's the point, as long as we're talking about it, what we had done before is we can't ship anything internationally because it's just way too expensive. I shipped a ball to Alaska one time. It was $120. Sorry, not doing it. Unless somebody else wants to pay something, it's $500 to ship a ball to Alaska or England or something like that. So,
but yeah, the fundraiser, it's going to be a live stream. Do it on the set that Luke will be down there. Probably going to have a guest or two. It's going to be on December 12th. It'll start at 7 p.m.
I thought it was the 10th.
I have 12/12.
Weird. That's like a Monday.
Oh, that's January.
Yeah, so what I was talking about.
No, 12/12 is Saturday.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the grand finale's on the 17th. That should be a Friday then, isn't it?
Oh, wait, that's crap.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
December. Yeah, it should be 10/10. Where is James? Okay, so I need to edit this. This is 12/10. You're right. I'm wrong.
So anyway, we haven't been able to, for the Doggo fundraiser, we haven't been able to ship prizes to anywhere else because we're not paying $100, $200, $300, $400 to ship stuff overseas. However, Cool Wick does ship overseas, and I have no problem taking care of that. And so if anybody does want to donate anything and have a chance to win something, we might have like a separate for like international people only, and you will win Cool Wick prizes.
What I had said that I would do is that everybody enters automatically. But if an overseas person wins it, they automatically get a Cool Wick jersey.
And so that would basically be whatever it is. You can enter, but all you can win is a Cool Wick jersey or a hoodie or
any Cool Wick item, basically.
Yeah, any Cool Wick item, basically. And so if you see some cool hoodie on there that's like $80 or something, don't really care.
Also on the side.
Yeah, they got backpacks too, and you can have them. I think you can have your name put it. Didn't Jonathan do that?
Yeah, you can have 2 lines, and I think both lines are either 10 or 12 characters.
I'm unplugged. There we go.
That's what I was just going to put this up there just for the buzzer and just for the light.
No, it'll be fine. I just need to.
But yeah, those in the lower 48 state, we've already gotten quite a few giveaways. Have a motive carbide tank, 2, maybe 3 ball of choice SPI balls, including any weight. Some master items that include a multi-tool, a ball cup. We will probably be getting a Jayhawk tri-roller. Going off of memory here, I should be looking at the list. I've got a Zen half ball that I have some PBA signatures. The new in box Axiom in 15 pounds that was donated. And I've got a 2-pack of MVP balls, the original MVP and the Attitude, I believe.
Man, I want that one. I might have to.
You're gonna enter your own drawing?
Yeah.
Well, maybe whoever wins it will trade you.
Yeah. MVP Attitude. That was the last ball that I drilled righty, and I won a tournament with it and shot 800 in the step ladder, actually. I qualified 4th, and then I shot 800 in the step ladder to win. So.
Yep. So, and then we have a pink overseas spare ball, one of the spot-ons that was donated. But my goal is to get all of the prize packs around $250 or so that way everybody's pretty close. And obviously, like a half ball with some signatures aren't really like a dollar amount value, but we'll add some stuff to it to kind of get it up there. Add the jerseys to it probably on some of the packs. And I've got a few pro shop type items, so we'll add in the arc ruler. There's something else I had in there. Oh, a cleaning pack. It had some Aberlon pads and a little small bottle of different surface adjustment stuff to add polish and whatnot to it. So yeah, it'll be fun. And the stream will include Luke giving off the his top lists as normal of releases, and then probably update your all-time list.
Yep.
See if anything new.
I got to remember what I said it was last year.
Yeah, you might have to go back and watch this into the stream and see what you said.
So yeah, we're going to talk about the best balls of the year, and I'll count down. We didn't really have. Zen Master was last year, right? Yeah. So we don't have a ball that was absolute garbage this year.
At least not that you can dump on entirely.
Yeah.
No, I have one.
Well, yeah, but I'd think that the closest thing would be the X3, but it's not because it's bad. It's just because I can't throw it. It's not a bad ball. It's just not something I can use.
If we get like 50 milliliters, maybe.
Yeah. No, I don't think that we put out any. We put out some mediocre stuff or some stuff that I don't really necessarily care for, don't use a whole lot, but we didn't put out anything bad. And even the Night Road, which was seeming like, actually after I drilled the Night Road, that was like my second worst ball of all time, and nothing will ever top my worst ball of all time. The Ebonite Savage Flip. Beyond the worst ball of all time. Nothing's ever going to compete with that.
Savage.
Yeah. It either savagely flipped or savagely looked like a plastic ball. So, yeah, we're going to talk about probably the top 10 of the year. We might have some special guests. Hopefully we can get some people on there.
Jesse, I hope you're trolling me. Oh, wait, no, that's the Cosmos.
Oh, I get it. We've got the camera set up for Jonathan, but Jonathan's not here.
Well, I had
to.
I thought
fine.
you were going.
I know. I am. I'm working on it.
If you get back over, get to your drill press.
Can't turn it on while we're talking.
Yeah, that's true. All right, you're forgiven. Okay, Jesse, I was making that comment because I really don't like the Helios, but I read Helios instead of Cosmos.
Once again, double checking my line. Double checking the line with the actual cut, where the cut is at. that measures out fine. That measures out fine. We're good to go. So again, I'm piloting with an 1 1/8 bit. Just save some wear and tear on the 1 1/4. Heck yeah, Nikki. Super slow. Just get that extra little bit shaved down off the inside of that thumb hole.
But Jesse, yes, actually the idle Cosmos is in regular rotation for me, and it goes almost everywhere for Luke.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, if you want to look, I posted a short with the Cosmos from like 3rd or 4th Arrow 4 or 5 days ago. I take the Cosmos everywhere. It hadn't gotten a whole lot of use because it was a little too strong and I thought slow. But then I took it to a tournament a few months ago, and that's all I ended up using the entire tournament. And then I thought, well, hey, this might be pretty good. Let's try it in League, and it was amazing in League, and so now I throw it a lot.
Yeah. The Helios,
it is very smooth. It is very strong and smooth. However,
yeah, the Helios and I did not get along.
Like the Helios.
No. I have what I refer to as the green monster. I have an overseas green idol, and I actually like that one. I did like the idol Pearl and the idol Cosmos. That was a little bit squeakier.
Yep.
I did not like the stateside idol very much. Mostly the color, but the overseas versions and the stateside versions are different. switches of the color. And yeah, about board 12 or 13, just left of second arrow to third arrow is kind of my go-to area. So anything that I can, and I'll stand anywhere on the lane, but that's kind of my area I want to shoot at. So.
Most important rule of drilling, reset the pitches before you cut the slug off. This will, cutting a slug off will also let you know how, if your gauge is lined up. So it's a very easy way to actually calibrate the gauge daily is you just cut slugs down. Because if it's not calibrated, if that's not true zero, then you're gonna cut heavier on one side than the other.
And didn't you say that actually cutting plug is better to get it? Or is the slugs better?
Well, no, I'm talking about something different. This is making sure that the pitch gauge is correct.
Are you playing?
Or accurate. Because if it's not accurate, then when you zero it out and cut a slug off, it'll cut heavy on one side.
I heard the cut
other.
and I was thinking sharp, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Zen U, we're ready to finish it up now.
I really like that actually. With the black and the gold labels, I really like it. Like black and silver, black and gold. And I kind of want a pitch black just because it has green labels.
Yep.
I never throw urethane. I have no need to throw urethane, but I kind of want one.
Man, the pitch black Blood Moon logo swap, fire.
All right. I'm gonna move. You're over here now, right? I can move this? All right.
And I think I can unplug my...
Okay. Am I good right there?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
You can see I do have my full assortment of step 2, step 3, react to shine, and react to scuff. Love this stuff, especially the react to scuff. I think this is something I'm going to start doing in my videos because I've had some discussions with my new YouTube members now are starting to get in on some of the discussions. My Discord members, whatever else. We had the regular polish, then we went to 4K fast, then we went to the react to gloss, and it's really hard because I did a comparison with the Fate and the Idle Cosmos. The Idle Cosmos was the box of 4,000. The Fate is react to gloss. The point was made that it's really hard to get a good idea on a comparison when things are different surfaces, even if they aren't significantly different on the surfaces. It's enough to kind of mess with it a little bit, and I get that, but at the same time, I can't go out and shoot 3 or 4 different times for every ball that comes out, and especially every comparison ball. It's not necessarily the ball that's in question, because then it comes up, it's like, okay, well, why don't you just go surface the comparison ball? Well, we've got use on the comparison ball, so that's why I use the original footage, is because it's fresh cover versus fresh cover. It's not a ball that we've used for 50 games. that we just kind of changed the surface on, and now we're comparing it to a brand new ball. So what I think I'm going to do, and this is something I've recommended anyway, is everybody else out there is going to have video with the balls right out of the box. They're going to have the box surface. What I think I'm going to do going forward is I'm going to take everything to React-A-Scuff. If it's 2000 grit, I'm going to take it to React-A-Scuff. If it's React-A-Gloss, Shiny 4000, whatever else, React-A-Scuff takes stuff to about a 3000, 3500-ish grit sheen. This stuff's amazing. It cleans and surfaces the ball at the same time, but it's like an Idol Pro finish, where it's not really a hard surface. It's kind of a matte or a sheen finish, like I said. And so what it's really going to do is it's going to take the edge off of the shiny balls. It's also going to take the hard edge off of like the 2000 grit frickin' chalk monsters. And so that way we can, you know, that way it's replicable. Instead of having once the box surface wears off of something, you'll never have the box surface on it again. It's impossible to replicate the box surface because they have equipment at the factory that exists nowhere else. You can get it close. Your pro shop can get it close, but the best thing to do is just change the surface when you get it, because then if you like it, then you can continue to keep getting it back to that surface, versus if you like it out of the box, you're never going to be able to get it back there once it changes. So I think I'm just instantly, every time we get a ball, I'm going to hit it with React-A-Scuff. That'll make it a whole lot easier for comparison, so you can directly compare stuff with the same surface on it, so you're not getting that surface throwing you weird vibes. And we film most stuff on a house shot anyway. I'm not going to throw a chalk monster. Something like the gem was kind of hard for the first 10-15 shots until the edge got worn down, or then something like a fade is really glossy, and I think it kind of weakens it a little bit. Like I said, Angel took React-A-Gloss to her fate, and it looked great out of the box, but it looks even better now because that gloss just kind of makes stuff a little wiggly. So, all right, so when it comes to my fit, I do something kind of different.
Oh, somebody was asking earlier about if you use vacuum grips, and I said not exactly.
I use hybrid vacuum grips. So let me get all the crap out of the thumb hole here first. I know, buddy. What is buddy? You buddy? Come here, buddy. Come here. Storm dog.
Boss?
Here, buddy. There you go. Hi, buddy. You got paws?
Yeah.
You got the buddy. Nice, buddy. Thank you, buddy. I know. Bye, buddy.
You did a good boy. Thank you.
No, buddy.
You did a good boy.
All right.
I know you did.
So, I use a hybrid vacuum grip. As you can see right here, my fingers just do not fit. They just don't fit. But I do like a snug fit. When I tried vacuum grips, my fingers just kind of go all over the place, and I really do not like that feel. It's just not snug enough. So I'm going to take the grips out. I'm going to get all the paint off. I do this before I buzz fingers. So what I do is I kind of funnel the top of the hole, because your finger is wider at the knuckle than it is at the end. So this way, by starting with a smaller grip, I can more form fit my finger from top to bottom, instead of having it snug at the knuckle and loose down here. So it does take a little bit of extra work to get the fingers right. And actually, I'm going to need a ball for that. I got my night red up here. I can use that.
Corrupted Husky just commented, said he just shot 724 with his phase 3 tonight.
Sweet.
Says new high series might have been unsanctioned. That was, he made that part in Discord, so I'm combining comments here.
Yeah.
But
sweet.
Said he shot it against his coach, who he beat him every game.
Yeet. I'll drink to that. Anybody else got any big scores to put in the chat?
Ugh, stop it. I'll cut you off.
All right. So once again, on the thumb hole, my thumb's round, so this is great. I just need a little buzz at the top, so I'm going to do that first, and we'll get into the finger holes.
Oh, you got another one. Kendall Porti. It went 212, 267, 247, 726 with the super.
I'll drink to that. Who's woof? What is woof? You said a woof? You said a woof? The other thing here is that even if you don't do the same thing that I do with the fingers, it is a very good idea to open the fingers up like this because it rounds the edge a whole lot more so it doesn't crack as easy, especially if it goes back and hits something in the pit or whatever. It absorbs that impact a little bit better. It's a whole lot harder for cracks to start, even though you can see I'm fairly close to the pin here. Urethane doesn't crack, so I'm not really worried about it on this. But on other balls that I have similarly drilled, I never have any problems because I always round the finger holes off. I've got balls in the basement just sitting on the floor that have been there for a while that we haven't done anything with, and they're fine. So, all right. So I'm still going to have to adjust these, I'm sure, because I never get it in the first shot. So see, I can actually get in there. It's a little snug, but that's going the right direction. It feels great all the way around. I've got to make sure to focus on the top of the hole because sometimes it can feel, I can have a little bit too much wiggle room down at the bottom when it's snug at the top. I definitely need to open that one up more. That one's a whole lot closer than this one is. Just need a little bit more on this. Get my night road for reference because this one, my fingers are a little swollen, but that gives me a good reference. What's my buddy? I know, buddy. so notoriously difficult to bevel, it just does not stand out well. So that lends even a little bit more credibility to the idea that the, this is a whole lot hotter too. Lends a little bit more to the idea that the Zen U is some kind of a blend. Wipe all the dust off here. Glue does not like dust. That's still a little tight. Everything else feels really good though. I'm gonna buzz that out more. Yeah, see that's, my hands are a little swollen, but not that bad. Still do need more out of, if I need more out of that one, I'm definitely gonna need more out of this one. Yep. So again, I do have kind of a hybrid vacuum grip situation. Should be there on the Zen U now. Not sure on the PB yet. Probably just going ahead and glue these anyway because again my hand is just a little swollen up.
Aaron 144, as far as replacing finger grips, I'm not sure if there's a video, but we do have a ball or two over on the rack. He might be able to pop them out when he's done with all of this to show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That ball's good. Still a little tight. It's incredibly exciting and riveting, buzzing out finger holes.
Yeah, if you guys have other questions, just shoot them. I'm trying to keep him updated.
I think that's going to work. Maybe.
So essentially what he's done is the bottom of it, he hasn't buzzed out at all, so it's just a funnel opening up to the top. So it's sort of like vacuum, but it's molded to his finger as opposed to...
That feels good. Shut the hell up.
He did attempt vacuums once, but
there we go.
He's such a feel.
I like digging.
That he couldn't feel the ball anymore.
Yeah, the vacuum grips allow my fingers to move around and my hand ultimately to move around way too much. What? What, buddy? Use a woof.
You want to say hi?
You did a woof.
Do you want to say hi?
You did a woof. Buddy, come here, buddy. Storm dog. Storm, come here, buddy. There you go, buddy.
Say hi.
Use a hi, buddy. I know, you're a hi, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy. Use a woof, buddy. He's nice, buddy.
If he stands up straight, he's nearly 5 foot tall.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You're a big woof. What's a big woof?
Yeah.
Woof. It's woof.
And then his sidekick, Aspen.
What? Hi, pickle chips.
There's Miso.
Miso dog. Hi, Tweety bird. I know, you're a Tweety bird.
We call her Tweety because when she gets excited, she makes like this tweeting sound, like chirping.
Yeah, this very shrill. What? It's woof. It's a woof. All right. Now the gluing of the grips. This is also important. For you pro shop operators, I have something very cool on the bottle called a flexi tip. If you have glue balls, you know that they tend to glue themselves shut. I also don't put the caps. People, oh, just put the cap on it and that'll help. Well, then the bottle glues itself to the cap and rips the entire tip off. So it's easier to just let the bottle glue itself shut, cut the end off, poke it back out with a, with a push pin or something like that. But they make these cool things called flexi tips that are basically a tip extender so that you can continue to cut the flexi tip down, and then when you cut it all the way down, you can replace it so that you don't have to cut the tip of the actual glue bottle. It doesn't matter so much on urethane balls, but this is also something I like to do just for a couple reasons. So I will glue the inset first, or I will glue the grip at the bridge first. I also really hate cutting grips down because they were molded this way for a reason. To just kind of glue them in there and then cut the sides off or some other odd nonsense is stupid. So I'm going to glue below the cover stock because the glue expands and contracts at a different rate than the cover does. So once you get glue in the cover stock, especially if you use too much of it, it acts like water in concrete. When it freezes, it'll just expand and then just below that's why you see those spider cracks or the circular cracks that just go around the finger holes. It's not a crack that just splits the ball. It just cracks around the finger holes. That's the vast majority of the time caused from not enough bevel and gluing up in the cover stock. That is a pro shop problem. Sorry, but it is. And you really don't need a whole lot of glue to keep a grip in the hole.
Even though Riley's probably not watching and he needs to.
Yeah.
He puts like half a bottle in there.
I put one
mac
drop.
And cheese.
I have never had a grip come out. I put one drop. I had two drops, I guess. I kind of make a strip. I start at the bottom of the grip and kind of work my way up to the bottom of the bottom of the cover stock, or where the cover stock meets the filler. So then I will use another line, so it's probably two drops on each side, but in the same place. I also use the slow zip because it gives me a couple seconds to get the grip where I want it.
So he doesn't glue his
before
finger
it sits,
to the hand.
because crazy glue or anything else, even the vice, that purple vice glue that just locks up instantly, lock tight, whatever else. As soon as grip touches ball, it's done. So.
Yep.
So this.
So if you're touching the ball, you are now part of the ball.
The grip is flush with the ball surface. Basically, I still got to glue this other one, but the grip is flush with the ball surface here. So, yeah. Didn't have to cut anything off. And it's also very, very easy to get the grips back out of the hole. Like Angel was saying, I might have something to take grips out of that we can kind of...
Yeah, there's a couple balls over there on the shelf I think we're done with. You could pop one out.
Well, I think I'm done with my a plastic ball over there.
Yeah, that's the old one.
Yeah. My mix. So, grips glued in. We're flush with the ball surface. Everything cool. When I need to go to pop the grips out with my little grip extractor with the blade on it, all I have to do, and plus I have some flexibility at the top of the grips here. So it's not like the grips aren't all like spread out or something. So there is flexibility at the top of the grip for it to kind of snug up on your finger so that you don't have it glued to the top on this side and then glued to the top on this side, and so it's all stretched out and spread out and doesn't fit or anything else. Now you can see here that I can just kind of work my fingers in, get them nice and tight, and that feels great. So see, again, I've got plenty of flexibility. It snugs up, and so it acts like a hybrid vacuum grip, but again, I can't move my fingers around. They're snug tight right in there, so love it. All right, do the other one now.
Have to share. Jonathan, Tiffany, he sent me a picture of his doggo.
Doggo.
Yeah.
Yep, Dozer.
Yeah, he's a rescue too, he said.
Yep. Yellow lab.
That's what the face says.
Yep.
Yeah, Storm Dog was in 3 homes that we know of. He was returned every time.
For being bad.
For being a husky.
Yeah.
That's a massive down. Actually, a lot of huskies end up in rescues because they're so cute and adorable, but then they're just ornery, smart brats. And howl and escape and jump, and people just don't want to deal with it, so they end up in rescues.
Come on in. There you go. There you go.
Those actually fit. Sweet. Every once in a while, most of the time when you go to glue grips in, they end up a little more snug than they feel for whatever reason. So once you glue them in, I always make sure that they either fit or are a tad bit loose before I actually glue them in. Otherwise, when I glue them in, they're going to be too tight. But we actually got it worked out here.
Yes, Storm Dog's personality is a mood, that is for sure.
And this isn't just for me and Angel. I take this kind of time with anybody that I drill for.
He actually takes more time for people that he drills for.
I do have a very small group of friends that I drill stuff for. They don't have any pro shops here in the area that they go to, so I'm not taking business from anybody in the area. That's one of the stipulations. One of them drove a couple hours away, and the other one drove hour and a half away.
Yeah.
So one of them I do something very interesting for also. I do something I call a triangle oval. Of course, a triangle is not an oval, but it's just oval thumb, so I should probably just call it a triangle. But it's ovaled in 2 different directions. So it resembles a triangle because he's got his thumb's wider, plus he's got a knot on the back of his thumb. So I'm gonna make a video on that at some point. I've been meaning to do that for a while, but And I have to...
I was to say, that one has to be recorded.
That's kind of a trick.
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
Yeah, it's kind of a trick. So, all right, once again. Oh, yeah. Let me dig right in there. Feels great. The dig and the squishies. Oh, yeah. The dig.
All right.
Heck yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny. You don't hear a lot of people talking about their night roads, but actually after how bad they were to begin with, I take this thing everywhere too now.
All right, there you go. Slide those suckers over.
All right, so this is the Zen U in the Pitch Black. I'm not sure when we're going to get out to get footage with them. James is also going to drill a Zen U. That's on the way. So it will probably be sometime this weekend before I get any kind of reaction videos up for these. But once again, my members will see it first because I will get the cuts done and I will upload the cuts while I'm working on finishing the video, so they'll get to see some ball reaction period a couple days before anybody else will. Plus they'll get a special members only Zen U video. So here's what I was talking about with the grips. This is my old mix. It just got beat up.
Yeah, no, actually, I think you buzzed the fingers out too.
Yeah, I buzzed one of the fingers out too far. This has had a couple sets of grips in it. It's gone through a fit change, so I did have to reslug it, and so it was just time to drill another one. But what I was talking about on the finger grips is that a lot of the time, if I drill something and I don't end up liking it or we get rid of it, I can pop the grips out and save them. Most of the time when pro shops take grips out, they just have to shred them up because they're just glued all the way around and whatever else. But with these...
That's a grip extractor.
Yeah,
and they come in two sizes.
Yeah, this is a specific grip extractor. So again, yeah, they do come in two different sizes because they have the smaller, the mist grips that are smaller. They're 7/8 outside diameter rather than 31/32. The other thing is I mean, you can tell the difference in the color of the grips. I mean, obviously, I've used this a lot. And the grips they're in there just as tight. You know, I could pick up the ball with the grip if my little chicken wings could actually get that done. But when I go to take the grips out, since I've only glued them on the two sides, I can just angle the blade at the direction that I glued. Just kind of work it until it pops. Take it out, and look at that. You can tell where it was glued, but that grip is still intact. I could glue this into something else if I actually wanted to. But yeah, and you can actually see the amount of area that it does end up getting glued, but because I, only do it on each side, if I don't like a ball, I can just pop the grips back out and use them in the next ball. So I don't have to burn a set of grips on every single ball, whether it works or not. This also keeps the inside of the hole a lot cleaner. So all I have to do is, I don't have to buzz a bunch of grip residue out and make the hole bigger. I can kind of put this in here and shave some of the little bit of residue off the inside, and then I'll just buzz it to freshen it up so that the glue sticks better. But again, same story with...
So he's basically just using the side of the grip extractor as a razor blade to scrape the glue off. Cryptid Husky asks, is the Night Road a good replacement for the High Road X? I was thinking Hustle Camo, but it seems to be that shape, but a zone further right than the High Road X.
Yeah, the cover on the Night Road's a fair bit stronger. However, the general shape kind of gets there. The X is a little bit cleaner and sharper, but the general kind of shot shape of the Night gets you there. It's a little stronger, it's a little bit rounder, but it's definitely going to be the closest thing by a long shot.
Could you alter the surface in any way to get it closer?
It depends on if you have the X out of the box. you would have to go on ahead and shine the night road up, definitely. Woof? What's this woof? I'm talking here, bucko. I know.
Come here, Storm.
So yeah, you definitely have to shine it up. The High Road X came shiny. I don't know what surface people tend to run it at, but you would definitely have to shine the night road up to make that work. So anyway, another grip popped out. Looks just fine. Again, you can see we're glued under this line, so I'm under the cover stock, or at least not at the very top there. So that's, I don't know, that's pretty painless grip extraction. I don't have any issues with it. Grips never come out. Obviously, those were old and used up, and they never came close to coming out. So you don't need a whole bunch of glue in there. And if you put less glue in there, actually, if you put more, the glue will get brittle. And again, it gets into the pores of the cover stock, and it will actually make the cover crack. So underneath the cover stock, glue down in the filler material down in here. Don't glue the grips at the top. Again, it makes it more comfortable, makes them easier to get out. It's pretty simple stuff. So
Yeah, Jonathan, it's pretty bad how people can treat their dogs. I will agree.
So yeah, Aspen is still terrified. She was abused in some
pickle
way.
chips.
And so the people that had her before
Hummer
us just
pickles.
didn't
Hummer pickles.
understand.
Aspen
And so
pig.
they thought
It's okay,
she
piggy.
was basically broken.
They wanted this dog.
Yeah.
They didn't want a
Personality-wise, they
a
wanted
cat. They didn't want a cat dog. They wanted a bouncy, lovable, fun, doofy dog.
And Mistletoe was dumped or
pickles.
born in a sewer drain. We don't know.
Hi, Tweety Bird.
But she
You're a
was
Tweety
found in
bird.
a sewer drain at 4 months old and then rehabbed. And we were her first and only adopters. So
How you doing,
she's
Wolf?
been at the rescue and
Hi,
us.
sweetie. Hi, baby. I know.
And she loves hugs.
I know. Do the hugs. Do the hugs. Okay, get down so I can show him hugs. Get down so I can show him hugs. All right. Hang on. Mistle. Hugs. Hugs. Hugs.
Yes.
There you the hugs.
She actually
Good
wraps her
hugs.
paws. You can see where
Yes.
she's actually pulling him.
You did the hugs. Nice
She-
hugs.
Yes, she hugs.
Good hugs. All right. You down? Can you off? Thank you. Nice doggy.
And then
You're a
Aspen
doofus.
she's an extremely happy dog, but she is absolutely terrified of most things.
Here's nice. Here's a nice pig. You giant raccoon. Oh, Pickles. Oh, yes, Pickles. I know Pickles. All right. That will probably conclude our stream here. I don't want to get into drilling anything else. I do have other things to drill, such as Angel's New Timeless. Because we have the new Fate, we're going to do a Belmo Ball compilation. She has a brand new Timeless. She also has a new Drive. So she has we have a new Trend. She still has her ProMotion. Still got the Trend 2 down there.
Actually, we drilled a new promotion recently.
Yeah,
So it's actually a newer.
Yep, so it's a newish ProMotion. She's still got her Trend 2.
Yep.
What, Woof? I know. I don't care.
And then I do have a Belmo spare ball. Mm-hmm. I do have the OG, the very first Gold Sparkle, but it's not getting holes.
Yeah. Why are you bad? Thank you. I know.
So-
We also have ProMotion Tours. We have ProMotion Tours. Do you like ProMotion Tours? We also have a Trend SE.
Those two aren't getting holed yet, though.
Yeah. Woof, I know. I know. It's nap time and Chimkins time. What's it, buddy?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they're all three like, you need to quit talking.
Yeah. It's 9 o'clock, which means Chimkins.
Yeah, they know it's go outside before bed, and then it's... no, John, I do not have all of the Belmo spare balls. I do not want all of the Belmo spare balls. I did have...
She's got the original Belmo Sparkle. She's got the white and black Belmos. She doesn't have the gold Belmo.
I never got the remake of the white.
Oh, you just had the black one.
I had two of the black one. I sold one of the black. So I still have my other black one down there, which I'll need to fix the thumb on. But yes. And we'll probably just...
Why are you a violence? You're doing a violence.
But yes, we will have a
Woof.
Belmo ball review with
That's
all
woof.
of them.
That's woof. And then I will at some point. Hi, I know. Hi, buddy. You're a nice buddy. You're a nice buddy.
All right, here, you go outside. He'll finish
Yep,
up.
Bye. And then I've got to start drilling some righty stuff too. And so I do have a promotion. There's some other obvious goats that are going to get drilled. Phase 2 has to happen. A Phase 3 has to happen. Idle Synergy is happening. Halo Burn is happening. Outside of that, I do get to drill some stuff now that I haven't gotten to drill righty yet, such as an Axiom Dark Code. Looking forward to those. Probably drill something like a Pink Badger I've got down there. We do still have an Ordnance C4 down there as well.
That's mine.
Okay. Probably going to drill one of those promotion tours because a cleaner and flippier promotion sounds awesome. And we'll see as far as that goes, but I do have more Fate comparisons coming. I have more Phase 5 comparisons coming. A lot of people, I'm not forgetting about this stuff. There's just too much stuff to make videos for, and I have a day job. So Phase 5 versus Zen is going to be the next one that I'm working on. The members have already gotten to see the Fate versus the Cosmos. I'm also going to do... gosh, it just slipped my mind there. Oh yeah, I made that basics review for the Phase 5 or the Fate. No, the Phase 5. Just kind of without all my typical tech heavy whatever stuff. So I made a basic Phase 5 layout that's just talking ball reaction without all the tech nonsense. Doing that, I'm giving the Fate that treatment as well. But I do have a lot of stuff coming, and then I'm sure that there's more stuff coming that I'm going to have to start making review videos for. And then I'm also going to have the UC3 in the video with these two, even though it's drilled different. It's not drilled that different, actually. It's 4.5 by 3.5 by 2 or 2.5, so it's not really that different. So it's close enough. So I will probably take that back down to 1,000 grit to...
I think you ought to throw the promotion in there, too.
Show you all what kind of a nonsense ball.
Hashtag lefty.
Yep, hashtag promotion ball.
House Hack asked if you were still going to do the Build-A-Bag videos.
Probably. The problem with doing those is that they tend to be, especially if I add so many balls in there, they tend to overlap a little bit, and I'm not gonna fake something for the sake of, I guess I could...
every few releases, like how they go together?
Yeah, probably, because if I put 6 balls in every video, I'm gonna run out of bowling balls really fast.
Right.
And I can put together hypothetical arsenals, but at the same time, there's a million different combinations you could go with the hypothetical stuff, and so I don't want anybody thinking that, oh, well, when I do those, I kind of want to do, okay, well, this is the bag that I run. How would this new ball fit into the bag I already run? But that means that every single video will have the same balls in them from both of us, and so probably be one of those things like the Sport Essentials where I just do every so often and make more of a compilation out of them. So, yeah. So what didn't he had another question, or he had that big question earlier, didn't he?
Yeah, you didn't get to that, did you? Mm-mm. Okay, yeah, let me read that one.
So we have one interesting question here before we get out of here. It was very interesting, so we want to make sure that we hit it.
Yeah, it had to do with urethane, but let me get the wording.
Yep.
Okay, it's a long one.
All right.
With the PBA's new rule on urethane, it looks like we're going to get more and more options going forward. My question is, even after all these years, the Purple Hammer and Pitch Black have seemed to be the best options for straight urethane. But why hasn't any other urethane ball caught on? Fast pitch seemed to be closed. The newer tanks seem to be popular, but not a lot of urethane situations. UC3 just flat hooks too much for urethane. and people throw them in league for most of the time. Even the bigger core urethanes like the Hot Cell and Black Widow urethanes just don't seem to make it in most real-world tournament situations. The future of tournament bowling seems to be going back to older technology, but how can you improve outdated technology when every time they do, the bikers just go back to the OGs? And that was from Keith Austin.
Yeah, so the house hack bowling represent in the house.
And he isn't here.
House hack bowling.
Yes.
So the problem is with the urethane, the urethane on the PBA thing, is that if they find a model of urethane ball that they like, it's going to be discontinued, or they can only use it up to 2 years from its manufacturing date. So the problem is that if they like a pitch black, they've got to keep the pitch black in production. So the problem with urethane balls is they're not terribly popular. I mean, stuff like the IQ Tour and the High Road aren't necessarily staying around because they're selling crazy numbers. It's just a reaction that people would scream bloody murder if they didn't have any more. So those two are very important reactions. The High Road for regular league conditions is a house shot killer, and the IQ Tour is just an absolute must for tougher conditions. But with urethane balls, the pitch black is again kind of their benchmark. It's going to be around for a while because it's their benchmark standard urethane ball. But now with the PBA rules, something like a fast pitch was really good, but they have to think about sales numbers too. You know, if they keep adding in urethane balls, and I think that that's probably the intent here, is that I would assume that Roto Grip would probably come out with a traditional urethane ball too. This will be, I think that this is probably intended to be something that's going to have a lot of longevity. A pitch black kind of look, but a delta off of that for, you know, a little bit more shape. Something that's intended to stay in the line for a while. But the problem is if you put out something like a fever pitch and then a pitch purple and then a fast pitch, if the pros like them, they can't exactly stock up on them and continue to throw them later. The pros even have to drill newer pitch blacks. So if they find something that they like and then the company discontinues it, they're doing their professionals a huge disservice, because the pros will get to throw them for a couple of years, find out they like it, and then it's gone. So that is the problem that they're dealing with. Number one, they've got to keep something in production so that the pros can continue to drill fresh new ones every couple of years. But it's cost prohibitive to keep too many urethane balls in the line for too long. And that's why a lot of stuff gets discontinued, not necessarily sometimes because it's just selling poorly. Other times it's because why are we going to continue to manufacture a certain ball that is not selling as well as something else is? And that's also, people talk with their money too. People can say that this ball's great or that ball's great, but if they're not buying it, it was a situation with the original Idol, and people screamed about it when it got discontinued. But the thing is that Schlem told me, he's like, yeah, we shipped like 20 of those worldwide the last 2 months it was in existence. And so it's like, we can't keep a ball in the line just to sell 10 balls a month. That's not going to happen. And so he's like, it figured that everybody was kind of done and moved on from it. And so we discontinued it. And then all of a sudden we had this huge uproar, and they made another run. They made 1,500 more because people freaked out and had a panic. So they actually made a special extra batch, large run batch, to fulfill distributor orders and kind of take care of everybody before they, said, okay, that's it, no more. So, I mean, if you like a ball, I know that there's plenty of new shiny stuff out, but if you like a ball and you want to keep it in production, keep buying it. And there's nothing that replaces anything else. I've had a couple people, and they've said, hey, this is probably a dumb question, but somebody asked me, hey, does the Night Road replace the High Road, or should I just buy another High Road? And I'm like, if you like the ball, the best replacement, especially if they're still making it, is that same ball. People can talk about, the 2016 version of the High Road was a whole lot better than... No, it's not. It's just not. And
What you're
even
remembering.
even if it was the reaction, if you drill a 2016 high road in 2016 and you drill a 2016 high road now, they don't. Well, they're going to react the same, but a 2016 high road is going to react different from a 2022 high road simply because the 2016 high road has continued to cure over time. It's harder. It'll be a little, it should theoretically have more back end, but it's gotten harder, and so it's.
And possibly smaller.
Yeah. So bowling balls continue to cure as they age. They're like concrete. They never really stop curing.
The best thing for a bowling ball is to use it.
Yes, drill it, use it. That's why we have a 5-year rule in our house. If we have anything that's over 5 years old, we either drill it or sell it, because at that point, it's either a collector's item sitting on the shelf collecting dust, or the past 5 years old, the reaction's going to start falling off. So. So that's kind of my take on that. The companies are in a tough spot with urethane balls, so I think that you're going to see a lot of them again. I would predict that if this is, which I think this is good, for everything I've seen from it so far, it looks good. It's a pitch black that's kind of got the shape of the fast pitch. The fast pitch was like an IQ Tour shape, but less. I'm kind of surprised the fast pitch didn't stay around longer. The problem with it is once it lane shined, it got really, really clean and then just did nothing. You had to keep just a crap load of surface on it. This one, the Pitch Black's obviously going to be around. It's their flagship urethane ball. I think that this was built to be Global's version of that, especially since they had the Booyah Pro, which was very popular.
And it does complement
Yeah.
a Pitch Black, a UC3, and a Zen U. You've got so many variations right there.
I would like to see that UC3 cover. If they put that UC3 cover on a core like this, that might be our Purple Hammer. I think that'd be very close to our Purple Hammer, so I think that you might look for that, because the UC3 has been quietly popular. Just because it's not really, it's urethane. They call it urethane, it's not really urethane.
That flares more than anything.
Yeah, it's just a ridiculously.
Which I think you talked about that at one point, that the reason that the urethane hate is not so much a urethane, it's the lack of flare.
Yeah, it's the core, it's not the cover. Anything that doesn't flare will cause carry down. It's not a urethane specific thing, it's just most urethane balls have weaker cores that do not flare, and so they cause carry down, and so it's a false equivalency or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I think that we'll still be talking about the Zen U for a while. Obviously, I think that they put the Zen name on it. They did this specifically to kind of create staying power. I think this is going to be a really popular ball. I think that the Pitch Black is going to continue to be popular. When people want urethane, they're going to get a Purple Hammer and a Pitch Black if they can. So I think this one's going to be around for a while. I think we will still be talking about this one in a couple of years. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's going to be kind of a mainstay. And they're going to have to keep making these balls, because the pros can't keep throwing nothing but Pitch Blacks all the time. We can't have this as the only option. The other problem, again, is that we can't have too many urethane options, because if the pros like them, they have to stick around. They have to keep making them. And having too many balls in the line, stuff gets discontinued all the time that we're shocked about. But, it is what it is. The machine moves on, so. All right, do we have any final questions before we get out of here? This was a very successful stream. These both feel amazing. I do need to put pieces of tape in there, but yeah, this ball feels amazing.
No, I would say just finish it off with the typical, if you enjoyed this, leave comments below.
Yeah,
What you'd like
comments are the
to-
best for the algorithm.
Yep. Like, subscribe, hit the little bell thing. Join. The memberships if it's your thing. You can. I put the link above in the chat if you want to check out the free side of the Discord. If you want to go more in depth, you can join either from Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Either one will get you. And we'll do some more stuff like this as long as y'all liked it. Hung out with us a couple hours, played with some balls. Saw Luke in a unicorn costume at the beginning. So if you missed the very beginning of the show, as soon as this archives, go back and watch the first 5 minutes. I highly recommend it.
Yep. Unicorn costume.
Yes. So I think that's it for tonight.
Yeah. Done blinding you with the lights here. So thanks everybody for hanging out. It was fun. We'll try to do more of these. I can't actually do drill streams for stuff that before I put the review video up for them. So this just happened. I got this one a little bit later than normal.
Now maybe when he comes out and drills some of his righty stuff, we can come out and hang out again because they'll all be older. Mm-hmm. And if there's anything that he's doing the lefty balls still all for reviews. But if he throws one lefty and thinks, oh my gosh, I need one righty, we'll be getting another one. So yes,
I really like that one. We both really like that one. So I will be getting one of those righty at some point.
Yes. So, and we'll probably be, just as a little teaser, I guess, but I think you've mentioned it before, we will have some practice streams for the memberships also.
Yep, we'll get out there and practice with some stuff.
So if you are Discord or YouTube membership, we will do live streams for you all while we practice. Mm-hmm. James will probably come out. Might see if we can get some other people to come practice with us too. Mm-hmm. So, but otherwise, I think we're gonna call it a night.
Yep.
So
be looking forward to the videos with these. So thanks everybody.
Last shot before we sign off here. Ta-da!
Yep.
#sexy.